In a world where all of humanity lived alongside beasts and every person dreamed of becoming a beast tamer, something extraordinary happened. Deep within the giant beast tide lay an egg that had not yet hatched, but this was no ordinary egg. Inside it, the soul of a human had just been reincarnated. After a moment of shock, the creature inside the egg looked at its tiny claws and finally accepted reality. However, it soon realized a far more serious problem. As a beast, it could only wait for a human to appear and form a contract with it. Just as it was beginning to despair, a system notification suddenly echoed in its mind. Congratulations, reincarnation successful. Would you like to draw a reward? Without hesitation, it chose to draw, and the result left it stunned. It had obtained the Ancestral Dragon Bloodline of Gold rank. In an instant, its body underwent a massive transformation. Its physical strength increased dramatically, the overwhelming aura of a dragon filled its being, perfect regeneration awakened, it became nearly impossible to kill, and it gained a bloodline pressure capable of suppressing all living creatures. It had even inherited the bloodline of the most ancient dragon in existence, the ancestor of all dragons in the world. At the same time, outside the giant beast tide, the academy students gathered with excitement. That day was the most important moment for every aspiring beast tamer. They were about to enter the giant beast tide and choose the beast that would become their lifelong partner. The teachers gave their final words of encouragement before the gates opened. All the students clenched their fists enthusiastically as they stared toward the sea of beasts in the distance. 3 years earlier, Blue Star had suffered a great catastrophe when countless living creatures mutated into ferocious monsters. Human civilization had nearly collapsed, and from that moment onward, the path of the beast tamer became humanity's only hope for survival. Among the students stood a girl named Leng Yuao. Her gaze was much calmer than everyone else's. No one knew that she too had been reincarnated. In her previous life, she had been too obsessed with following the ordinary path of cultivation and had carelessly chosen a contracted beast. As a result, even after training to her limits, she failed to break through to the highest realm. Her beast had been slaughtered within the beast tide, and she herself had lost her life as well. Now she had been given a second chance. In her heart, she swore that she would never repeat the same mistake. This time, she would devote herself entirely to the path of a beast tamer and choose the best possible partner to change her fate. As Leng Yuaya walked past the various rare beasts waiting to be chosen, her eyes were suddenly drawn to an egg lying in a corner of the giant beast tide. The egg appeared completely ordinary and emitted no noticeable aura, yet her instincts told her that something was different. She stopped for a moment and continued staring at the egg. After all, dragons were the supreme beings of the beast tamer world. The appearance of even a single dragon would be enough to shake the entire Xia nation, if not the whole world. For some reason, she felt that the egg concealed a tremendous secret. The golden light that had previously filled the space slowly faded until everything returned to calm. At that exact moment, Leng Yuao decided to walk closer. With a determined gaze, she reached out her hand and began forming a contract with the mysterious egg. On the other side, the being inside the egg suddenly felt a strange change spreading throughout its body. It could sense a connection slowly forming with a human. This feeling, could it be that I'm being contracted? It wondered silently. A few seconds later, the contract was successfully completed. Although the contract was complete, Ling Yuao still could not view any information about the beast she had just contracted. She assumed it was because the egg had not yet hatched. Without thinking too much about it, she carefully picked up the egg and walked toward the exit of the giant beast tide. At the same time, the creature inside the egg noticed a dragon-shaped symbol appearing on one of its claws. The symbol was identical to the contract mark that had also appeared on Leng Yuao's arm. It stared at the emblem with curiosity. Perhaps this was proof that it now officially had a human partner. After that, it opened its status panel and saw the requirement for its next evolution. It needed to reach level 2 before it could break out of the eggshell. Filled with anticipation, it could only silently hope that everything now depended on Leng Yuao helping it grow stronger. Outside the giant beast tide, the students began showing off the beasts they had contracted. One of the most eye-catching was Li Yixuan, a talented girl whose aptitude score had reached 80 points. She walked forward confidently while carrying what appeared to be an ordinary walking chicken. In reality, the beast was a young frost phoenix that had not yet evolved. Seeing her choice, the teachers could only shake their heads in disappointment. In their eyes, such extraordinary talent should have been used to obtain a far more powerful beast. Yet Li Yixuan still wore a proud expression, as if she was completely certain that her choice was the best one. Soon, everyone's attention shifted to Leng Yuao. As the owner of exceptional talent, everyone was curious about what kind of beast she had managed to contract. As she stepped out of the giant beast tide, the sky, which had been clear moments earlier, suddenly darkened. Black clouds gathered at an astonishing speed, thunder roared endlessly, and black lightning began to fill the heavens, gradually forming the silhouette of a gigantic dragon. The terrifying heavenly phenomenon caused every teacher and student to freeze in place. The academy's higher-ups immediately realized that such a phenomenon could only signify the birth of something extraordinary. They quickly contacted the leaders of the 4 great academies, convinced that a new genius had appeared. The phenomenon lasted for quite a long time before the sky finally returned to normal. However, when the teachers looked at the beast Leng Yuao was carrying, they were stunned. What she held was merely an egg that had not yet hatched. There was not even the slightest sign of life. Some people immediately concluded that it was nothing more than a low-grade beast egg that had failed to develop. Hearing that judgment, Li Yixuan burst into laughter. In a mocking tone, she said that everyone had thought Leng Yuao had obtained some incredible beast, only to discover that she had contracted a dead egg. Several other students joined in, ridiculing her and saying that contracting an egg that could not hatch was a foolish decision that would ruin her future. Despite receiving so much ridicule, Leng Yuao's expression remained calm. She was not affected by the comments around her in the slightest. Deep down, she was convinced that the beast inside the egg was far more terrifying than Li Yixuan's frost phoenix. With a faint smile, she looked at her opponent and said that possessing a divine beast was not something worth boasting about. Hearing those words, Li Yixuan became furious. She immediately challenged Leng Yuao to a duel exactly 1 month later. Whoever lost would have to admit their mistake in front of everyone. Without the slightest hesitation, Leng Yuao accepted the challenge. After returning to the dormitory, Leng Yuao's close friend immediately scolded her. In her opinion, contracting an egg was the most foolish decision she could have made. Even if the egg eventually hatched, the beast inside would most likely be a low-grade beast with no future. However, Leng Yuao merely smiled calmly. She had no intention of revealing the true secret. With complete confidence, she simply said that in a few days, everyone would understand the reason behind her choice. She trusted her instincts completely, and she was certain that the mysterious egg would become the strongest beast the world had ever seen.